morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Here with, what is it, week 9 now of the NFL season. We're officially halfway over with the exception of a Monday night game. We're halfway through the season.
Yeah,
Morning,
we're
AJ.
getting there. Morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Yeah, we're in the end of November now, into late game football. It's cold out. It's football season. It's football weather. Yeah, we're at that point. It's grind time, which is awesome.
Yeah, the playoff pictures starting to take shape and
Yeah. Yeah,
really, really exposing who's real and who's not.
yeah, you know who's who at this point. There's obviously some surprises and things like that come in. I suppose my mic is really far away. Some surprises and things like that show up, but for the most part now, like you said, yeah, we kind of have an idea of who's who. And
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, yeah, start with a fun college football Saturday.
it was pretty fun. Despite not having a lot of big matchups, we're in the conference play now, and there were a lot of close games, so it was a lot of fun to watch. We'll kick off with, we'll go with our team first. Save the big one for last.
There you go.
Number one, Oregon comes into Ann Arbor, takes down Michigan 38-17. I still recognize it as 31 because that first passing touchdown doesn't count. But pretty much as expected.
Yep.
We were just outmatched at pretty much every position. And so good for Oregon. Glad they beat Ohio State. That's really what I'm happy about. And yeah, just another loss for us. So
Yeah, I'll say we knew it was a rebuild season to begin with. So yeah, again, like I said, being ranked so high to start the season was just such a weird.
that was a
Like,
nod to winning the
sure,
national
we
championship.
won, but
Yeah.
like we should not have even had a number before our name. So
Yeah. It took a while for them to fall out, to be fair.
yeah,
So
it did. Yeah, because
they were
they just
relying on the
lost two,
brand.
and then they won, and then they lost another, and then it finally now
Yeah.
we're at that point. So
Yeah. So, like we said, we expected the loss. Another big matchup we have against Indiana, and then hopefully Northwestern's a W, and then the state team down south, otherwise known as the STDs. Moving along, we talked about Pittsburgh at SMU, I believe, in our last
yeah,
episode. Pittsburgh. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Wrong screen. I apologize.
too many screens. Who thought
Yeah,
it'd be a
honestly.
problem?
Pittsburgh got demolished by SMU. I thought this game would be a lot closer. 48-25 SMU.
Yeah,
It was in SMU or at SMU, I guess, but I don't know. I thought Pittsburgh
I had a
would
chance.
show
Yeah,
up,
they look solid
and
this
they
year,
just
and then
didn't.
yeah, it just yeah.
And then moving along, go Army.
It was
They
sweet to see them win again. That's yeah. I
they
kept
did.
checking the score. I didn't watch much of the game, but I kept touching on the score just to make sure. And
Yeah.
then yeah, it's like once they pulled away and it was a lead, I was like, all right, cool. That's this
Did
should
you happen to check, or did you happen to see what Army did to Air Force?
no.
Okay, so from the highway outside of the stadium, you can see Air Force written in the seats. I guess they say some cadets snuck into the stadium and put a CH in front of it, so it's Chair Force, which is like the
Right, yeah,
the
yeah.
nickname for that all the other branches give him, so that you could see it from the highway. I'm not sure exactly what
That's
they did to the
awesome.
seats, but you can clearly see that there's a CH in front of it, which is kind of cool. But Army ended up winning 20-3. So
Yep. So yeah, so it's over for them at this. I see it now. The CH
yeah,
Air Force. I see it now. The CH that they have up there. A few cadets infiltrated Al Falcom Stadium.
yeah.
That's awesome.
All
But
right.
yeah, it's nice to see that win though. That's yeah, we're just kind of at this point weirdly just rooting for them to just
Yeah,
keep winning,
just
just to try to get that to happen. You just want to be
yeah.
the witness of this.
I
Anytime the first thing happens, you just want to be able to see it.
I feel like the fish in Finding Nemo trying to swim out of the net. Just keep winning. Just keep
Yes, yeah,
winning.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
keep
Just keep
winning.
winning. Yeah, yeah. Come on, just one more,
So
guys. One game at a time.
Army now has to take their turn at playing Notre Dame next, but that's in a few weeks.
Yeah,
So that will be the tester for them. And then our big game locally. Uh,
yeah,
did you watch any of it?
yeah. I watched most of this game.
Nice. What'd you think?
Yeah, I had started on it and I popped on Twitter while I was starting to watch the game and immediately realized that's when I had texted you. I was like halfway, it was like half hour into it, and I had saw somebody tweeted out something where they were like, "This is bullshit. I'm just finishing my eggs and I got to turn on like Ohio State, Penn State or something like that." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then like it clicked, and I was like, "Oh, duh." I have that East Coast bias. I always have. Like we get the primetime
Sure.
games, watching shit late at night. When I was in Arizona, like the Super Bowl starting at 4:30 was the weirdest fucking thing in the world. Like, where is my 6:30 Super Bowl? And so yeah, so the time zones have always fucked me up, and that was one where yeah, being a noon game now I see like I hated even being at noon. I could not imagine being a fan of those teams. I mean, I get it. And typically, it's college; those fans aren't in that area, but still,
Yeah.
if you're a Penn State or an Ohio State fan in California, Oregon, like that sucks. Like, and do I have to like be like, oh, I got to set an alarm to watch a prime time game of our like that's crazy. So yeah, I hate that. I hope this is one of those things where like Reddit and the internet bullied Sonic into getting an updated eyes in the movie. I
Won't
hope.
happen.
Yeah, I doubt it, but I hope that the internet can bully them into like they're spending the money, so like they should at least be able to be like, oh, we're doing this, and they hate it. What do we need to do differently to just spend the money and make the money back? Like, how do we get the internet to love it? And it's not at noon. I don't know what it is, but it's not at noon.
Yes, I agree.
But yeah, so yeah, I finally agree on that. So yeah, get rid of that
For
shit.
for the record, Ohio State did win the game 20-13.
Yeah,
Lower scoring than I expected, honestly, but it was a really good game back and forth.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
just a
Ohio
battle.
State's quarterback Will Howard, he wanted it so bad. Like the whole
Yes.
like redemption game, hometown kid got looked over by Penn State. Like he was trying way too hard, and so yeah, Ohio State's defense definitely won the game for them. Like it just yeah, it was just a low scoring, but neither team could really get anything going. I think it was like the first half that Penn State didn't have a single receiver or tight end that had caught a ball. Like the running back caught one or two, but that was it. Like
Yeah, something
the
wild like
announcers
that.
kept saying it where they're like, and still coming up with another punt and not a receiver or tight end's caught a ball yet. Like it lasted way too long. You heard it too many times where it was like, okay, this is like a thing now. Like, can
Yeah.
they throw the ball?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just kind of too little, too late for Penn State to try to claw back, and they just didn't have anything going the whole time. And then yeah, game's just over when Will Howard hits that first down run, slides in, and then they just kneel it and run it
Yeah.
out. So but yeah,
Yeah, it was a good game. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to
Joe.
say if you're a Penn State fan.
Yeah,
Um,
it's.
I, James Franklin is just good enough to keep you between second and fifth in
I
the
was
Big
just
Ten
saying
now.
between fourth and 10th is what I was
Yeah,
gonna say. Like, oh, you're saying in the Big Ten. Yeah, I was saying
yeah,
nationally. Like 4 to 10
yes,
is their sweet spot. Like they're not
yes,
top three.
right,
They're not going to overtake your Ohio State, your Alabama's,
yeah,
your yeah, like the Georgias, the Texas. Like they're not going to be that team, and it doesn't feel like they are. But
yeah,
yeah, not with James Franklin anyway.
yeah, exactly. So, moving on though, we'll hop over to the NFL. Um, you took a nap, is that what I heard?
Yeah, a little bit today. That sucked. That's yeah. I don't like to do that. I really try to avoid sleeping on Sundays, especially late, and lay down with the boys for a minute. It's a dangerous game to play. High risk, low reward. And I just yeah, I laid down with them for a minute and said, "Come on, guys, let's fall asleep." And then that was it. So yeah, the yeah, I'll jump into that one. I guess yeah. First, it's a 1 o'clock slate, but the Broncos Ravens game.
Okay.
Was watching that second play of the game. Bo Nix throws an interception, tips off a receiver, and I just was like, "Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?"
yeah, that was rough. And there's
Yeah,
you can't do anything about that as a quarterback. Like,
yeah.
it's not
It
your
was just
fault.
it was just a
But
bad play,
yeah,
and yeah. So right away, I was like, okay, this is probably how this is gonna go. Let me go get them in bed so that I can like watch the game and be miserable by myself, and then go and like they're like, hey, we lay down with us, and I'm like, you know what, it's Sunday, like I'll lay down with them for a minute. And I was exhausted, so yeah, actually, I fell asleep after that interception and woke up. Game was over, so slept through the entire 1 o'clock slate, which really sucked. Was tuned in for the 4 o'clock slate though, and got to watch highlights of the 1 o'clock. Had multiple screens up of recaps and red zone and the games for 4 o'clock. Was trying to like
uh,
catch up on everything and see what was happening, but yeah,
right.
the Broncos game, it was a win-win for us. We were gonna win the game and then be amazing, and oh my god, we beat the Ravens, or we get demolished like we were, and this is who we were expected to be, and it's okay because we're supposed to suck, and the Ravens are really, really, really fucking good, and Lamar
They
is
are.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we were just supposed to lose this game, and that's what happened. I'm glad I didn't go. Some unfortunate circumstances came up, but it's fine.
Shit
I'm
happens.
happy I didn't go. Yeah, so yeah, shit happens. But yeah, see, I'm glad I didn't end up there to lose and watch them get fucking throttled in Baltimore. That would have sucked. That'd have been a long afternoon. But
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah,
And
yeah, just yeah, so yeah. But other than that, yeah, we could jump back in order and kind of roll right through 1 o'clock games.
yeah, so in my division, Cowboys at the Falcons. Falcons win this one 27-21. Thank you, Falcons. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
And yeah, the Cowboys. Oof, it went from bad to worse. You took the L, and now Dak and CD looking to have MRIs. The week before the Eagles game, Eagles come to town. Um, I don't know, man. I hope they're okay. I never like to see players injured.
no, yeah, yeah. We want the best players. We want them. We want to make fun of them for being bad with the best players. You don't want anybody to have
Yes,
scapegoats, and
exactly.
yeah, you don't
Yeah,
want anybody to be hurt for any
especially as
reason.
an
But
Eagles fan with them playing
right,
this week.
yeah.
We need that. So hopefully they're all right, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then another divisional matchup, not for the Eagles, but the Bills up north taking
Yeah,
down the Dolphins 30-27 on an almost walk-off field goal. I think there's like 2 seconds left in the
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah. It counts.
All I have to say is division games are weird.
Yeah,
They
you
always
expected the
are.
Bills. Yeah, you expected the Bills. This like on paper, this is a 42-15 game of the
Right.
Bills. Like
Yeah.
it's 5 field goals for the Dolphins and unlimited touchdowns for the Bills, and
Yeah.
backups are in by mid third quarter. Like, and then instead it's a back and forth game the whole
Yeah.
time, and it ends up being a fight for the finish. So, yeah, your note says it all. That's a good way to
Yeah.
put it because that is how the game felt. Once yeah, watching those
Yes.
highlights, I kept seeing it, and I'm like, oh, this actually ended up with the Bills win. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. You look at the stats and if you watch the game, it felt like Miami did everything they wanted to do. Their game plan was executed almost perfectly and they still lost. So I don't know what you do if you're Miami.
I mean, yeah, I mean
I
they're in a shitty spot right now too.
Yeah.
Like Tua coming back, I feel like some of the team had kind of checked out at that point. They're bad to begin with. Other than that, so yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like yeah
so
they're in a rough spot. I don't know. I wonder what kind of contract Tua has. Like how long is Tua under? Did he get his extension?
well, like what's interesting, trade deadline's Tuesday. So our next episode will include
Mm.
any trades.
Tua signed a 4-year extension worth 212 million in July of 2024.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so he's got 167 million dollars guaranteed going to him. So yeah, of course they want to play him and they want to get their money worthwhile, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's wild. So
Oh.
yeah, like you said, yeah, I don't know what the Dolphins do in that situation, but yeah, the Bills get their win. That's all that matters. Keeps them at
Yeah.
the top, keeps the separation there in the AFC East, and then yeah, they did not. Amari Cooper was the other note that I wanted to make. Amari Cooper did not play. He was out. That fucked me in
Correct.
fantasy. That was one of those that screwed me because it was a game time decision, sorta. I knew he was had some practice issues, but felt like he was going to play, and then just ended up not. So that
Yeah.
was super cool of him to do. Yeah, and then for me, this is a divisional game. This one again is one for me. Super happy to see this.
Doing
I
you a
saw that right
solid.
away. Yeah, doing me a solid. I think we need all the help we can get. But again, I don't really care. It's nice to see the teams around us lose. Like even if it's not for a benefit of us, still want to see them lose.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Burrow with 5 touchdowns. Yeah, I did see these highlights. He was
Did.
lighting it up out
So
there.
my
That was
fantasy
crazy.
team, so appreciate that.
Yeah, that's it. He was doing his thing, which I mean, again, to be expected. Like their offense has been doing well-ish, I guess, but not like they just can't stop anybody, and they're losing
Yeah.
these shootouts. So yeah, this one it felt like the Raiders didn't like the 24 points the Raiders scored really didn't even be justified. Like this felt like a complete blowout, like a completely lopsided game. But yeah, so happy to see the Raiders lose. Appreciate that, and yeah, the Bengals. Appreciate that. Yeah, they get another win. So I mean, yeah, they're in that weird Aaron Rodgers situation where they just relax and win every single game for the rest of the year. They have a chance, but otherwise they're in. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of just fighting for their
Yeah,
nothing
it's
area.
so they play the Ravens this coming weekend or next weekend, I guess. And that's going to be a pretty good sign. Oh no, they
Yeah.
play the Ravens Thursday night. Ooh.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna tell you where you're at. You're either that's your sink or swim game. Is that the difference or not? And
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. Because where are the Bengals at here? 4-5 now. So I mean, yeah, they are in the mix of shit. But yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. Like it's about the rest of their schedule now. Because yeah, Baltimore falls to 6-3, and the Steelers are still up there at 6-2 on a bye right now. So
yeah. they're not completely out of it. They can still sneak in as a wild card.
Yeah, they just got to win a
They
lot
just
of the
got to
rest of their
win
football
a lot
games.
more than they lose. So
Yeah, and they have not been doing so. So,
yeah. Moving
uh,
on, you're another game in your division.
oh, I skipped ahead. I was reading Patriots Titans. I was like, neither one of those teams are in my division, dude.
No, we skipped the
Yeah,
Chargers at the Browns.
yeah. Chargers at Browns. Yeah, Chargers win that game handily, 27-10. This one I did see. I did not see that Jameis lit it up like I wanted him to. It was literally the first things I checked. I said Broncos score, saw it they lose. I said, oh, that sucks. I went in and I was like, okay, well, how did Flacco and Winston do? And then I saw the Browns lost, and then I was like, all right, well, Flacco plays tonight. And so at that point, I was like, oh, today sucked. I was
Yeah.
like, I missed all the good stuff, and then yeah, him not lighting it up. It's not never a good thing. But yeah, the Chargers like they Harbaugh is just such a dog. Like I hate
It's
that he's is Reed and Mahomes on one side and then Harbaugh on the other side, and then Tom Brady owns the other team in our division. Like the fuck?
you
Why?
guys
Who
got
cursed?
Walmart.
Yeah, but still, we suck. I mean, we're generic as fuck, and all we want to do is sell low end T-shirts. Like we don't actually want to win a Super Bowl. Like they don't give a shit. They're gonna sell T-shirts regardless.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just it feels dumb. It feels like we're in a shit spot now. We were such like a 2015, 2016 post Peyton. We're like one of the most prestigious, highly sought after franchises in the fucking sports world. And now we just feel like such a joke, and our whole division is just so much better than everything we're doing. And like, yeah, we're not going to be in a good spot for like a good 5 to 7 years minimum. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta get rid of that Russ money.
yeah, Russ money, and then at that point, like we're Harbaugh settled into his fucking 10 year extension, and Mahomes has got a new coach that he's coaching, and yeah, so yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, Chargers handily win that game though. That's yeah, it was pretty one sided at that point.
it was. A game that was not one-sided. Patriots at Titans. Titans squeak it out in overtime, 20 to
Yeah,
17.
I don't even
Um,
care that it was an overtime game and
that
that the score was tied for most of it. I still stand on this being our snooze fest. Like, who would have
it
given a single shit about this game?
this stat line, the Patriots have 3 turnovers and it still goes to overtime, tells you everything you needed to know about that game.
100%. Yeah, the Titans should have won by 4 touchdowns, and
Yes.
instead they said, "Let's fuck it up in the last couple seconds and then do that." So yeah, it's
Yeah.
Drake May. I saw a highlight of his one touchdown, like that was incredible. But oh, speaking
Yeah.
of incredible rookie touchdowns, I will say Bo Nix did catch like a end around reverse touchdown,
I saw the
like a
play.
contested,
Yeah.
yeah, like a contested catch. Like it wasn't a wide open like Nick Foles Super Bowl, like no one around.
Yeah.
Like it was like an actual receiver catch, and I was like, damn, okay, but who cares? We lost by 31 fucking points. Like, what are we doing? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Patriots Titans. They're really just. It was not even a dog fight. It's a puppy fight. Like it just was two kids just fucking around the backyard and getting angry. But somebody had to win. Like somebody
Yeah.
had to lose the game. Somebody had to win. So
Right on. Back to my division.
yeah,
Commanders take down the Giants. I didn't watch too much of this, but the score seems closer than the game was. Um, um, James corrected my spelling here in our
I didn't. I was
show
like, I don't know if
notes.
that's. I was like, I don't know if I'm about to teach him something or if that was just like an autocorrect thing.
Yeah, I just wasn't even paying attention. Um, so yeah, the Commanders win 27-22 over the Giants. Washington keeps on winning, and yeah,
They were missing who was either the running back or the receiver. I'm drawing a blank.
I mean Austin Eckler played, so they were missing their
The
receiver
running back. No, yeah, the
or the
running back.
running back.
Eckler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the
yeah,
backup.
yeah.
Um,
Thomas.
yeah,
Or not Thomas Robinson. Robinson's who I was
that's
thinking
it.
of. Brian Robinson. Yeah, I was
Yes,
thinking of Brian Thomas, but no, Brian Robinson.
yes,
Yeah, he was out too. So yeah, it kind of gave you a little nerves running into where it's like, the Commanders might not get this one. But yeah, I mean they pull away and get the dub. There's a lot of dubs on the Commanders schedule. That's crazy.
it's frustrating. So,
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's yeah.
um, but congrats to them.
Yeah.
And then Adam Schefter's report this week says players are asking to be traded to Washington.
Yeah, I'm sure agents are like, I don't even have any fucking phone numbers for those guys. Who am I supposed to call?
Yeah.
Like, there's NFL agents like who to call for Redskins Reddit. Like, they legit are just like, I don't even know who to
Who
give a
is their
call.
GM again?
Yeah, you know that they're trying to figure out who to call. Like, hey, do you know anybody that works over there? No. Well, why would I have needed to know that information at all for any reason? Like,
Yeah.
do they have like a war room that they do drafts from? Like, yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, good for the Redskins though. Like, or yeah, Commanders, Jesus. if that's another one though. Like if they become like a powerhouse, like that's cool because they're within like that 2
It's
hour
not
range for
cool.
me. Yeah, it's not cool for you in your division, but like having the Eagles being a good team, the Ravens being a good team, the Commanders being a good team, like the DMV area, like that
Yeah,
makes that like that's a tough area for sports. Like basketball and football, like you're in that triangle, you are in a pretty gritty powerhouse of football, basketball stars. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
definitely.
yeah, that was a solid game there. And then this one was a little surprising, but I guess not really.
It seemed like a microcosm for the Saints season.
Yeah,
Is that fair to say?
100%. Yeah, it
you
almost not even
every
because the two wins at the beginning. It was just throws it all off. Those are the two anomalies. But then otherwise, yeah, you're pretty much spot on that this is
yeah,
just like the anticipation of what we thought the Saints to be all year.
yeah, the Saints just collapsed.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know what you say. Derek Carr's back. He had 427 yards, zero turnovers, and you still lost.
yeah. That's at
What are
this
you
point.
doing?
Like I feel
Like,
like they have players too. Like they have Kamara. Like they have a defense. Like
yeah,
why are you losing so bad? Like yeah, they don't have Olave now, and Michael Thomas is tweeting out their car and shit. Like, I don't know if you saw that.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah, like that was the whole thing. Like Derek Carr responded to that with like, as the nice Christian boy he is, like perfectly, just kind of plays it off. And I hope he gets to whatever he's looking for and all that shit. But like in his head, he's like, man, fuck that guy. Like I'm not trying to get anybody hurt. I'm trying to win a football game. Like I'm not
yeah.
throwing it to hurt anybody. I'm throwing it to try to get a first down. Like you hurt your toe and retire. Relax. Like but yeah, so yeah, I feel like the Saints are in a tough spot too. We talked about it last episode. Saints and Broncos both are in just absolute fucking cap hell, and that's just going to be the foreseeable future here for a couple of years. So
You get what you get, huh?
yeah, pretty much. That's yeah. We wrote those. We signed those contracts. We wrote that checks. Now we're paying for it. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, yeah, losing to the Panthers with a Bryce Young is just
it's got to be an all-time
inexcusable.
low, right?
Inexcusable. Like, yeah, you cannot let that happen.
Yeah,
So yeah, the Saints are in a bad spot. Panthers, even with a couple of wins under their belt, still in a bad spot because like now, why are you even winning? Like, just lose to get your draft pick.
I
Like,
heard they're pretty big sellers at the trade deadline. So,
I'm so excited. I feel like this is going to be one of the most active trade deadlines we've had in every like years, and I feel like that every year, and sometimes it flops. But I mean, I feel like for
yeah,
the most part, things have been increasing with the way things go now. Players just deleting names out of their bio and
yeah, right.
changing their Instagram handles and all that dumb shit. Like it just you see all the fluttering happen, but yeah, I feel like the NBA has gotten like that too, where it's just a lot of hot and heavy things happening up until the trade deadline. But like this is a perfect time where like the like Sunday football ends, all these playoff pictures are happening, and then you have like another 2 or 3 days right now to just figure it out. Like and
Yeah,
that's it. So weird that they do it around election time. I know that that's probably not pre-planned, but like you have to know ahead of time. Like I'm sure that they have that like priest. Like no one was like, hey, maybe like another day, like a Thursday instead or whatever. Maybe one more week or
well, I think the trade deadline is in the like bylaws of the NFL
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
I'm sure it is.
So
I say yeah. You'd think that they would
just
have some kind
unfortunate
of
timing this year.
yeah. That's yeah, kind of. So yeah, I mean
So, but
yeah, we'll see. So
honestly, I'm
yeah,
looking forward to it
yeah,
because
it's gonna be chaos.
I'm so sick of hearing about politics that
I
honestly I don't even care. It's not like they're not gonna have it figured out until at best Wednesday morning our local time. So like,
we will not even touch on it because you know how we both are on it.
yes,
But like, yeah, that's one where like you are much more knowledgeable in the subject of that. But like for me, even at a base level, I cannot imagine a world where I'm sitting on my couch and I'm a far either side, insert left, right, up or down, and I hear a commercial in this dumbass fucking overlaid voice that's like a like I can't like silhouette voice. I cannot imagine hearing one of those and then just standing up and being like, oh, you know what? I'm a changed man. That commercial did it for me. Kamala's a piece of shit.
dude.
Trump's a piece of shit. Like I cannot imagine like hearing one of those commercials or getting a random text at 11 p.m. with a paragraph about why they want to talk to me about my political like oh, you got me. Like you're so right. You are
Yeah.
so right. Thank you for reaching out. Please do this every couple weeks. Like I'll talk
Yes.
to you guys in a couple years. Like yeah, that's my biggest thing is like the actual like campaigning of it is so fucking silly. Like it's just so goofy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hilarious to watch. So I'm excited for that part to end. Can't wait for this to be over. I just want it to
Yeah.
be done.
We'll have
But
some
yeah,
relief.
back to the good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
back to
that wraps up
football.
our 1 o'clock games. I'll
Yeah.
start off the 4 o'clock games with my team. Eagles. I say squeak one out, but I think it was more of just got they did what they needed to do. They handled business.
Yeah, and they were
Um,
up. I think they got sloppy. Like you guys had the
okay,
leads, and then it just started fucking around. Like you were
okay.
just dicking around.
I don't know if we were dicking around, but if it makes me feel better, I'll take it. So we
I
have
mean,
to
that's not
start
who
this
you
game
were. You
off.
got up, you got the lead. That's who
Yeah,
the offense is. That's who your
yeah,
defense is.
22 to
It's
nothing.
potentially who the coaching is. But then all of a sudden you start just fiddling it away. Then that's where the coaching is like, all right, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing?
Yes,
Like, what are we
yes,
doing
for
here?
sure. Um, the start of the game. Reverse hurdle. What? Like,
I it just doesn't.
I was stunned when I saw it. Like, I
I
didn't know what to
want
say.
I want what however many minutes we're in, 40 minutes in or whatever. I want you to tag whoever was in your Discord about the Madden thing because I'm making another Madden reference. This is another one of those things where I literally like it's it's that reaction time of people like the young kids like Saquon's our age, like
Yeah,
growing up younger even, but like growing up in that age where like the reaction time is different, like the things you're willing to try or whatever. Because like I saw that play and was just like, that's what you see is him fighting off a tackle, and he just happens to get turned around. And
yeah,
he just, like, you see what's happening, and you know, like, John even said it, where he's like, you can't even do this in Madden. But, like,
right.
that is what you would anticipate doing in Madden. Is you be spamming the Y button because you would jump, but that's what would
Yeah,
happen is you would just, like, you just be doing shit. You're smashing the Mortal Kombat buttons, essentially. As soon as I saw that, I was like, that's a fucking Madden move. I was like, Saquon just was like, they should put this in Madden. Like, they're gonna put that in next year's. Mark my words right now. We need to clip this. Madden 26 will use that as like their highlight trailer. Like the camera goes down and
yeah,
Saquon does a jump spin over a defender. Like that will absolutely 100% be in the Madden 26 trailer without question. Some of the other crazy catches this past week will also be in there, but
yeah,
that 100% will be there. But yeah, that was just a fucking insane move. Good for Saquon.
yeah.
That's what bench pressing a bus does for you, I guess, or squatting a
I
bus, I
just,
suppose.
I don't know, man. It was just such a wild play to watch
Yeah,
in
like what
real
the fuck?
time. Um, but then the rest of the game, first, prayers for AJ Brown. Please be okay. I honestly didn't even think to look up anything about it to see if there's
I
anything
believe it was
about him.
hamstring, right?
Yeah. Nick
Or no, knee
Sirianni.
injury. After suffering a knee injury the first half, he was downgraded to out with that injury. I thought it was
Yeah.
the hamstring was bothering him leading into the week. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So he left the game
Yeah.
on a knee
Apparently, Nick
injury.
Sirianni said something in the post game press conference, but I know Nick Sirianni and I've watched enough of him to know that it's a we'll talk to him and evaluate it. So I'm not need
Yeah.
to watch the 27-second video. So prayers for him. Mentioned this earlier. Never want to see anyone get hurt. Frustration because I still to this moment don't understand how Saquon's not down by contact on that fumble that was returned for a touchdown.
Yeah, I did see that, and I just
He clips his
yeah.
leg. To be fair, he barely clips his leg, but you review it for a reason. And like you can even see the dude's finger catch Saquon's sock. Like guaranteed there's contact. And they're like, nope, nope, he fumbled it. They picked it up, returned it for a touchdown. I It's one of those plays that happens every now and then in the NFL where I'm just like I don't understand. The
Yeah, I'm watching the highlight again right now. I was watching it earlier too because I remember seeing it like when I saw it like happen on Twitter earlier. I just was like, "Oh, it's not a fumble because he was down." And I was like, "Oh wait, they called that a fumble?" And then I was like, "Oh
yeah.
my god, we're not gonna not hear about this for fucking weeks."
Yeah, I mean thankfully they still won because if they didn't then you wouldn't hear about it for weeks. Um but yeah, I
And
just
also, nobody tackled Trayvon Walker. There was like six
no.
dudes that hugged him there in that
Dude,
group, and
everybody,
then
yeah.
Jalen just like runs around and like everyone's just running into him, and he just
Yeah.
stays on his feet and realizes that he's like, "Oh, no one's actually trying to fucking do
Yeah,
anything."
everybody like even Saquon was like laying on the ground like, yeah, that's not a fumble. Like Saquon didn't go after the ball. Like I don't know. I don't get
I
it.
almost think that the only reason that they could call this a fumble, I don't want to ruin your day with logic. I think the only thing that they would remotely say here is that defender clips his leg and that he reestablishes balance right away. Like he's good, and then he runs into his player and falls down. So if he's into
I don't
his
know.
player and falls down, then he's live. But if the defender caused the tackle, my thing though in the counter argument to that is that anytime you see one of those deep catches or the deep interceptions, midair, if the defender even has
Right.
a fucking finger on the defender, the moment they hit the ground, everyone just stops and stands around. Sometimes the defender comes over and
Yeah.
puts their hand on their shoulder real quick, but for the most part, everyone knows like this play's dead. The ref ain't letting anybody get up and run off. There's that
Yeah.
occasional one where everyone goes no whistle, but for the most part, everyone around would have anticipated he was down. But I mean,
Yeah.
also Saquon, just don't drop the fucking ball. Like that, I think comes back to it too. Is like just don't drop it, and then this
I
isn't a thing. So like
yeah.
that, if it wasn't Saquon, that would be what we would both be saying. So I get your frustration with it though. Like that sucks. Like something like that happens, and then the other team's gaining momentum to try to make a comeback. Like all of a sudden, you're like, here we fucking go.
Yes.
Here we go.
Exactly.
Here we go.
And then thank you defense.
Yeah.
They won that game with the interception there at the end. Won't waste any more time. Moving on.
Wait, real quick. Just clicking through my tabs. I just happen to click on Facebook tab out of habit. First thing I see is a fucking Facebook status from one of my friends. Sirianni cost the team at least 6 points so far. Now it's a one-score game. Shaking my head 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
Like I clicked
It
from
was
ESPN
rough.
to Facebook
He's
and I
like,
saw
let's go
Sirianni
for
and I was like,
two.
wait.
I don't
Yeah,
know
it
what he
just
has
yeah.
against Jake Elliott.
Yeah.
Maybe he was playing him in fantasy this week or something. I
Say
don't
he
know.
said, you're
Like,
not kicking shit.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. But moving on, Bears traveled to Arizona to take on the
Yep.
Cardinals, and I don't. Did they leave their team in
They
Chicago?
must have.
Like,
Yeah, they left the offense there for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There was
it
no
was
offense
rough.
going for the Bears. Yeah,
To
Caleb Williams got his 200 yards, but like that was it.
yeah, to
And
Kyler's credit, 2-0 post COD release,
it's
proving
crazy.
proving the haters wrong. And then
He's
even
probably like too prestige already too, honestly.
and then even crazier, Arizona stays on top of the division somehow.
With their terrible record too. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
5-4,
Arizona,
leading the division.
Bears, Packers,
Yeah,
Seahawks, Rams, Bengals. Like they're all awfully 500 and all within playoff rates. Like they all
yeah,
can end up 5, 6, 7 seeds, which is
yeah.
just like so crazy to even consider.
A weird note that I just noticed from this game: the Bears are 0-4 on the road, and that means they're 4-4 at home, which is just wild.
Yeah,
Or 4-0 at home rather.
yeah.
So yeah, maybe they just don't play well on the road. I don't know. I guess good luck if you have to go into Chicago.
Yeah, true. I mean, even that though, too. I don't think Chicago has the greatest home field advantage in the world. I mean, I'm sure they do. You guys, Chicago faithful there for sure.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think that that's a place where they're well traveled with other teams, though. Like it's not a complete blue and orange crowd.
no,
So
for sure. Yeah. So I don't know. Good for them. That was pretty much my only takeaway.
yeah,
You have
that's yeah.
anything to
There
add?
really no. I was gonna say that was one. There really
Yeah.
wasn't much else to it. The Cardinals did that thing where again they're just so 50-50. They're either gonna score 30 and look solid and like a real football team, or they
Yeah.
just completely flop and are losing to dog shit teams. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're one that even at this point in the season, I feel like we know who everyone is. I wouldn't put a dollar on them. You could tell me that they lose every game. Like in 6 months, me comes back to tell me today that they lose every game for the rest of the season. I'd go, yeah, that checks out. Someone comes back and says Kyler gets hot, Marvin Harrison wins MVP, they win the Super Bowl. I'd be like, damn, that's crazy, but believable. Like I see either
I don't know
one,
about
but
that,
like,
but
yeah, it feels crazy. But like
yeah.
I see, but they keep winning these games. Like at what point does it stop? So I mean, of course, probably in the NFC chain, like wild card against the 49ers or something, like on a real team that's got the experience there, that's probably where it stops. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you get hot with a young team like that, then anything's kind of possible. I just worry about their run game, like James Conner being their like focal back. I feel like it was like 10, 15 years ago, we all were emotionally happy that he just came back from his cancer situation and was
Yeah.
playing and like everything was great and he was coming out of Pitt. Like I feel like that was so long ago. So the fact that he's still playing it as a starter is like a pretty bad note, like a pretty bad nod to their
Yeah.
rushing attack. Like you have Kyler and
He's
you
doing the
have a
job.
solid player, but
So
yeah, he absolutely doing the job. It's just it's like is that going to run out? Like has he had the miles on him? So
yeah.
yeah, again, I think that they might make it to the playoffs, but that'll be when that fizzles out because you're going to play a real defense
Yes,
that's ready for
exactly.
the run, and then now what?
Especially in
So
the AFC.
NFC.
Or yeah, sorry, NFC.
I knew that that's what you meant, and I knew
Yeah.
that's what you knew, but you said it, and I was like, that steals the NFC is a fucking powerhouse right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving on. You want to take the next one?
Yeah,
Or
this
would you
one
rather
was.
the last one?
I mean, they both were just such good games.
were.
I honestly,
It was a
yeah,
lot of
I
fun.
really don't even care.
Yeah.
This one was got a little chippy. There's a lot of those big crowds where people after hits that sideline, refs are getting involved. For the Lions Packers
Yeah.
is what we're talking about. The Lions get the win 24-14. They moved
Rainy
to
Lambeau.
Yeah, hailstorm, I believe, was this one,
Yeah.
or was that at Chicago? That might have been the Bears. Somebody had a hailstorm today. That one
No,
of the
it was there.
what?
Chicago was in Arizona, so it
That's
wasn't
right. So
them.
yeah. So it wasn't them. So yeah, I
Yeah,
believe it was Lions Packers,
it
where yeah
was.
they were
Yeah,
getting hailed on during the game, and so yeah the fans are okay due to because of the way the stadium's set up, but yeah the players were just getting drilled. So um, but yeah, it definitely had earned our game of the week. We thought this was going to be the one to watch. The score, I mean, it was a 10 point difference, but didn't even feel like that throughout. It felt like it was a one game or one score matchup the whole time. The Lions do get up to 7-1. Packers fall to 6-3. So I mean, the
yeah.
Packers still at 6-3. Like they're still in the fight. Like that used to be considered like the mid range for records. Like
Hey,
1-0, 1, 2 loss teams were the clear cut favorites, and then
you
three was
you
like
win
midway.
four
But
more, and
now
you should be in the playoffs. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to win 4 out of the next what is it, 9, 6, 7, 8 games? Yeah,
yeah,
four. You got to go 500 for the
500.
rest
Yeah,
of the year. So yeah, that's at that point. Like yeah, most of these teams at that top 10 to 12, you think they're gonna probably get in. Which I mean, crazy is Denver too, but we're gonna go on a 3 game losing streak at some point. Like we do that shit.
I
So
looked
like
at the schedule earlier. You guys got Kansas City next, so
yeah, yeah, we got dog walk by the Baltimore
I
Ravens and then
guess
get fucked by the Chiefs. Like who are we gonna have left after that?
I
Like
guess to be fair, law of averages says that eventually the Chiefs will lose. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night
do they? I was
or
just saying, do
tonight.
they play?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they play
they
the Bucks
play.
tonight,
They play the
Monday
Bucks.
night. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that ain't it. So they're gonna whoop our ass too. Cause yeah, we just beat them. I just had that Facebook memory the other day. We beat them last year or the year before that for the first time in like 12 years or whatever.
yeah,
And it was like the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs. Apple Pay wasn't invented. There was no Disney Plus. This person played for this person. This person just got signed for X amount of $100 million, and it was like, oh
yeah,
my god, we're so fucking bad. But we did finally get that dub to get rid of that streak. But um, yeah. Anyway, back to Lions Packers though. Lions. My note really was just Lions are as for real as they could be.
yeah.
Their offense is so serious. Even only putting up 24
It's
points on the Packers, like their defense was legit and playing well.
yeah,
Goff pretty much gets to do what he wants to do. They have a two-headed running back at kind of two and a half, three-headed, depending on what goes on there. And yeah, they just have a receiving core that can get open and get the ball out of Goff's hands, and Goff can take off and run a couple yards if he needs to. So like, they just have such a good offense, and the Aiden Hutchinson has not affected them. Like the loss
yeah,
hasn't taken the toll. Like they have not missed a single step. Like we all thought, okay, a 2 or 3 game skid. They go from the number one favorite to the 3 to 4 or 5 seed. Like they still make the playoffs, but
yeah.
like no, they just haven't even missed a step. They probably aren't going to trade for anybody. I feel like they don't
Why
even
would you?
bother making. Why bother?
Yeah,
Like you're just as good as you were with him. So like he'll come back next year. You'll be even better. Go for the two-peat or the repeat run
yeah,
for the Super Bowl or whatever. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Lions are for real. Jordan Love also is pretty for real. Had another statistical great game, but you can lose, of course. That sucks. But yeah, I mean, played a little bit injured. He was questionable heading in from last week, which we joked around about not even knowing. But
yeah,
yeah, so he was out and questionable for the week, but played. And then yeah, so the Packers still again they're 6-3, so they're still in the hunt. That division's crazy with the Bears and the Vikings now. Also, the Vikings got their win tonight, but. Yeah, but yeah, that's definitely earned
yeah,
the game of the week too. Like I said, yeah, it was back and forth for the most part, but
yeah.
yeah,
And
the next
then
one though, a little bit more back and forth.
yeah, the last 4 o'clock game. Rams take down the Seahawks 26-20 in overtime in Seattle. Um, wow, your note dogfight. We talked about this beforehand that it was either going to be pretty high scoring and close or pretty low scoring and close, and
Yep.
I would say it was mid scoring and close.
Yeah,
So
we were wrong, but still right.
yeah, we had the right idea. Um, I believe the phrase is "same church, different pew." Um,
Definitely don't know that one.
um, but yeah, it was a good game. Um, what'd you think of? What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean it was the Seahawks have me nervous now. I mean I thought that they were a real team coming out 4-0, and then they lose I believe 4 games after that, and so
Yeah,
now that's five. So four up, 5 down is a rough place to be. Or lost two. So yeah, they did win. They were
yeah,
3-0 and then started losing. That's right. Yeah,
correct.
so it was a little bit different than that, but still, I mean, yeah, they came out hot and then just kind of fizzled away. I thought that they're kind of like the Broncos are too. Like I thought they were gonna be worse than this. Like I did not think they were gonna have a great team. Like they really have DK and Gino. Like we thought the Gino magic was gonna run out eventually. Like they
Dude,
finessed us in the
I don't
Russell
know.
trade. They got Drew Lock, who then they shipped to the Giants. They had Noah Fan, who doesn't do what everyone thought. Like he was the next Gronk in Denver. Like he was going to be the next greatest tight end ever. And I was sad when we shipped him off. We sent them a defensive tackle. I forget Shelby, I believe was his name, and he like their defense. Like yeah, so like the Seahawks are in a weird spot too. Like they have all these pieces, new coach. Like they're figuring it out, but again, this is I think where they're supposed to be is like a mid 500. They're not fighting for a draft pick because they are a good team. They're trying to figure it out with what they have, but yeah, they had like DK is just a freak, and so like you got to keep him on the field and keep things
Yeah,
happening
I
around him.
I think that's the most surprising part about this game is the Seahawks were missing DK and still went to overtime with the Rams. Now I get the
True.
Rams aren't
I was
what
gonna say
I
yeah,
think
and
we were
then that's
expecting
yeah,
them to be, but they're getting there. They're not
yeah,
far away, which is
no,
scary.
yep, 4-4
Um,
now is wild for the
yeah,
Rams who were one and whatever at one point. So they were 1-4
yeah. I
now they've
think
won three
everybody
in a
kind of
row.
wrote them off, and here they
Yeah,
are
it
mid-season. They turned it around and
yeah.
got
I
the
almost
ship
tried
pointing
to
in the right
not
direction.
I tried to not do it, but this time I feel like I have to make at least one PMT reference an episode. Big Cat has this skit, like this bit that he does, where it's his pinky finger team, where he'll pick a team after like the third or fourth week of the season, where he's like, if that team wins the Super Bowl, I would be willing to cut off a chunk of my pinky. And like then they go into this big detail where they're like, well, where are you gonna cut it? Like at the end of the nail, or like the start of the knuckle, or like the whole pinky? And he's like, I'm not cutting the whole fucking pinky off. Like that's crazy. Like I don't want my kids to be the dad with no pinky. He's like, but I mean like probably to the knuckle. And he's like, maybe the nail. And then they're like, you're gonna go nail? You'd have to saw the bone in half. Like they have this whole discussion about where he's gonna cut it. He ends up coming back one day and he's like, I talked to a doctor. I'd have to do it at the knuckle. He's like, you can't do it like at the nail. He's like, that's crazy. He's like, I have to go the whole knuckle. He's like, but that's a lot. And so he always does it. And then he's like, he'll go through his teams. The Rams are one of his pinky teams this year.
Oh,
So he did it. They were 1-4. He was like, they're just too hurt. I put money on Stafford for MVP. I'm willing to do it though. There's no fucking way they're gonna win the Super Bowl. And now they're fucking four
four
and
and
four,
four. Yeah,
surging. Everyone's healthy. They're right back to where they thought they would be, but with a couple
yeah,
more losses in hand. Like, yeah, they get on a streak. There is no reason that the Rams couldn't get back there. They made two appearances there, a loss and a win. Like they've done it before. So yeah, that would be hilarious if they do get to that point. I just want to at this point, that's just one for me to listen to them. I want to hear him sweating, so I want to hear that. I want to see the Rams get some wins. So,
fair enough.
yeah, good to see them win though. Yeah, I made the note too. Yeah, I said dogfight, and you had said it was, so I had to look up. I completely missed the fucking Pakua fight or Puka Nakua fight. Had to look that up, and it wasn't really even much of a fight. There
Yeah,
was like a
it's
weird, yeah. It just
just
he
an
had this
ejection.
slight moment where he pretty much just like swung his hand, and they called it a punch, and that's why he got kicked out. So
Yeah,
he even looked so like sad and upset on the sideline. He was like, "I'm sorry, I just don't know." And like there, like you see his lips, he just says, "I'm just sorry,"
yeah.
and like he just is so silly. Like he obviously didn't mean to do anything. It just was like a quick moment of flinging a hand, but yeah, so yeah, well, yeah, excited to see where the Rams and Seahawks end up, though. I feel like they're both teams that could fall apart or could end up deep in the playoffs. So
Yeah. All right. This game just
tonight,
ended. The Vikings take down the Colts 21-13 at home. Improved to 6-2.
yep,
Sam Darnold does it again.
yep,
Jordan Addison had a crazy one-handed dive. I don't. Did you watch that? Did you
yep,
see it? Yeah.
yep,
Just a good catch. Another one. Just
yeah,
add
yeah,
it
yeah,
to the
yep.
list.
Because oh yeah, we didn't even say that Devontae Freeman had that crazy catch
Yeah.
for the Eagles. That was nuts too. Like, that was
Devontae
another
Smith, but yeah,
Devontae Smith. What did I say? Devontae Freeman.
Freeman. Yeah, the
Jesus, yeah,
running
I went
back.
all over. I said Devontae Adams, Devontae Freeman, Devontae Smith. God
It's one
damn.
of the Devontaes.
Yeah, one of the Devontaes. One of them Devontaes.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, Jordan Addison adds to that crazy catch list.
yeah.
Your boy
Hopefully we keep the
Flacco
streak.
didn't look too bad, honestly.
Yeah, they just were
Wasn't great,
flat. Yeah,
but
they just were flat. They came out really slow. Like they just could not score. Like it.
yeah,
I like at one point whenever they're like showing the camera on Richardson like warming up on the sideline and shit, like kind of walking back and forth, and it's like, well, what's the point of keeping Flacco in? And it's like, no, like he's a vet. Like, he's a Super Bowl MVP. Give him a fucking minute. He's playing the Vikings. Like, give him some time to work with this. He's playing with an ass Colts squad.
right.
And so yeah, so I think he did like the best he could. And that's it. He could absolutely get them into the playoffs. Like if he's the starter now and he knows that,
Not
and they're
impossible.
like, no, this is your show unless you're like abysmally fucking ass. Like this is your show. We're working on trading Richardson or to the local car dealership. Like we're trying to figure out how to get rid of him. Then I think that you just try to roll with what is their schedule? Is that what you're looking at right now?
Yeah,
I felt like it was. I saw you zoom in. And I was like, I feel like that's what he's looking at right now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Bills at Jets, versus Lions, at
That's a tough
Patriots, at
stretch,
Broncos,
and then
versus
it lightens up.
Titans, Giants, and Jaguars.
Yes, I mean, yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah,
You get Flacco to give you vet experience. You win the Jets game and lose Bills Lions, and then go 500, and you're probably in the postseason. Like
yeah,
you beat
you're
the
not wrong.
Patriots, you beat the Broncos, probably beat the Titans. Might lose to the Giants, and then you probably beat the Jaguars. Like maybe lose to the Jaguars because it's one of those weird games like the divisional matchups. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, the Colts have a weird chance. Yes, yeah, and anything can happen with Flacco and I mean, again, their team's kind of ass, but you get
yeah,
into the playoffs and you got some chemistry going with some young players. Like, yeah, anything can happen.
yeah.
But
And look, they're 2 games back of the Texans, and the
the
Texans
Texans are
minus
not,
Stefan Diggs is not the same team.
no, not at all.
Um, and the
Not minus Nico
Texans,
Collins, honestly, and they just
yeah,
didn't.
and the Texans have a harder schedule because they won the division last year.
Yeah,
So like, just look at the last 3 games, for instance, for the Texans are at Chiefs versus Ravens,
yeah,
and then they go at Titans. So that's probably a
so,
win.
yeah.
But
Probably a win. That's probably a backups game, but it's fine.
right, but
But yeah,
like
Chiefs
they're
Ravens. Oh yeah, that's your
you're
ending two
not
out of
far off.
three. Yeah.
Even if you don't win the division, there's still a reasonable chance that you could make the playoffs as a wild card
Because the
with eight or
AFC, your
nine
wild
wins.
card teams right now, you're looking at the Broncos, the Chargers, like that. Those teams are
Yeah,
gonna fall out of those spots, and then it's the Colts, Bengals. So like, the Colts are absolutely in the mix of things. So yeah, I'm just hoping that
yeah,
Flacco can kind of get it together. I
yeah,
had typed the note Flacco time while we were winding down in the fourth quarter, and I was like, come on, man, put a roll together. They were down 21-10, so they're at that two possession game with a touchdown,
yeah,
a two, and a field goal. They did the strategy where you kick the field goal first and then try to
yep,
get the onside kick. So
yeah,
didn't work out. You always want to see him just go for the touchdown, like just fucking throw it, and then that way if
yeah.
you don't get it, we kneel it and we're done. But
So look, I just pulled up the playoff standings, and Indy is right now the 8th seed.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the
So
Broncos are
they're
gonna
right
fall
on the
apart.
edge.
We are not holding
Yeah,
on to that spot. The Chargers, like as much as I love Harbaugh and everything, I think that I don't know that they have it this year that they'll make it in. I feel like they fizzle out a little bit. Like I think a team like the Jets ends up fucking sneaking in. The Bengals get their shit together. The Colts get their shit together. Like I think the Chargers could definitely be 7 seed. But yeah, I mean yeah, it's definitely possible for the Colts to get in there, which is crazy. But
yeah,
yeah, they have the schedule to do it.
yeah. It's not impossible. All right, that wraps up our Sunday games.
Yep.
It was a good, it was a good week. Fun watching football.
Yeah, I got a
Uh,
nap out of it.
she sure did.
I was pissed.
Uh,
I woke up. Maggie touched me, and I woke up, and I was like, "No!" And I looked down and said 3:59. And I was like, "Dude, nah," because there's no going back. Like, there's
yeah,
nothing I could do about it. Like,
yeah,
I didn't even miss half of it. I missed the whole thing, the whole 1 o'clock slate. I just
yep.
was like, "Damn."
So then we
But
have one game left tomorrow evening / tonight, depending on when you're listening to this. Chiefs are at home to take on the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are not the same team that they were to start the season.
no,
Injury
they're
bug got them, so I
they're falling
fully expect
apart.
the Chiefs to handle business at home.
Yeah.
Even if this is a closer game than expected, I wouldn't be shocked.
Because that's what we've been
Um,
talking about that too. The Chiefs haven't been playing great football. Like they're not
exactly.
playing amazing football. So like, is
Yeah.
this the game where they finally get, like you said, they gotta hopefully lose eventually. But like, is this the game where they slip up and just lose to a decent team, or is this the game where they
I'm
get
not
their
holding
shit
my
together
breath,
and
but
blow the Bucks out? Because that's one of those ones where like, as I'm obviously not a pro football player, but like, you'd think about it in the aspect of like. They're going to Tampa Bay. Like the weather's nice. They're in Kansas
yeah.
City right now, and it's got to be freezing fucking cold. So like, you're in Tampa for the weekend. Like you're on a primetime Monday night game. Like it's nice
No,
out.
no, no. The Chiefs are at home.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess that weirdly enough, that the argument kind of still stands that now they're at home and they have a team coming into the cold. They're used to the shit. Like
Yeah.
it was a win-win for the Chiefs. Like they're either on vacation in Florida or they're at home chilling at their own house. So, I
Right.
mean, yeah, that's tough for the Bucks to go in there injured up and then try to beat Chiefs at home. Is the Denver game? Are you looking at the Chiefs schedule? The Denver game in Kansas City?
The first one is, yeah.
So next week though.
Next week, yeah. Denver goes
So they
to
have a home
Kansas
game
City.
against the Bucks and then home game against the Broncos.
Correct.
Oh, they're gonna fucking dog walk
And
us.
then they
Win
gotta
or
go
lost
to
this
Buffalo.
week. And win or lost this week. Yeah, that's the game that they're focused on. So yeah, they're gonna beat the shit out of the Bucks and us. I'm almost certain. So
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, that'll be it.
I look at their schedule and I'm like, I
Are
guess
they
at
gonna
some
lose?
point you gotta lose, but
No,
I don't know
I
who
don't
you
think
lose
so.
to.
The Texans would have to really have their shit together late. Okay, so here's the thing: they have 3 games coming up right here: Bucks, Broncos, Bills. That any one of those could be a loss. If not, you're looking at 4 straight wins. Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Browns is a fucking
I
even sweep.
I think the Chargers might
Chargers would be
get
the
you.
best. The Chargers would be the best
Yeah.
of that group, and then the Browns, depending on how Jameis is playing. But then, yeah, I mean, to end, you have Texans, Steelers, Broncos, which is a rough threesome because the Texans could be good, the Steelers could have their shit together still. The Broncos are that weird divisional game,
Uh
so
huh.
you never know. But and
Yeah.
again,
Also, you
at
could be
Bron
resting with
or
a
you're
3 game
or
lead in the
you're
conference.
17-0 going for the record, and the Broncos are in Denver are like absolutely not because we do have a good defense and we
Yeah.
have beaten some okay teams. So like that would be an all hands on deck. Sean Payton pulls out everything to just win this fucking game and ruin the season and go into the summer with some kind of mentality. But
Yeah.
yeah, I could also see us trying our absolute bestest as best as we could, and Big Brother still beating the shit out of us. So yeah, just hoping that we can maybe not get embarrassed and get a dub there at the end of the season. But yeah, I feel like
Fair
next
enough.
week they're gonna beat the shit out of us. So
Fair enough. Anything else to add? We'll wrap up our show here.
no, speaking on football though, since it's local, I'm gonna throw this in there. We have other sports we'll talk about on Wednesday episode.
Sure
We know
will.
we had NASCAR race today. We had an NBA and NHL
Go
cooking right
Ryan
now.
Blaney.
Yeah, we had all kinds of fun stuff going right now. Um, Something else too. NHL,
You
NBA.
said local football. I don't know where you're going with that.
Yeah, there was something else I was getting ready to say too, and I just lost complete train of thought on that. UFC in 2 weeks. UFC in 2 weeks is another
Okay.
big one, but that's not what I was gonna say. I forget what I was gonna say. But anyway, Wednesday, basketball, NHL, football, all the other stuff. Local, what I was gonna say. Local football. Cumberland Valley made it to a playoff game this past Friday. We went
Okay.
to it. Expected the place to be packed. Almost thought the game was canceled. Got out of my car and was like, "Are there anybody here?" And I get up to the window and I literally asked the lady, I was like, "Is there any, like, why is nobody here?" And she said, I just don't understand people. We fight all year. These kids try so hard and they make the football and then no one's here." And I was like, "Well, we are, god damn it." So me, Rand, and the boys went up there and we were cheering. Like I was like, I love football. So like I was hyped. I was
Yeah.
like, this in my mind, like this is my team. Like I'm gonna cheer for them. Like I cheer for the Broncos. Like
Right.
I'm yelling. I'm like, "Fuck you, ref!" Like that's fucked down, baby. Like I'm up there yelling with the boys. So then
That
now they're
bad.
yelling it, dude. They're now getting into. We sit near parents or student section or by ourselves. So I sit where I can yell and it's accepted. Like I'm
Yeah.
either with people also yelling, I'm with kids who are like, okay, fucking whatever, or I'm by myself. So
Love it.
I try not to sit next to like the grandparents who are just there to see Billy catch a pass one time a game. So I try to be cognizant of that. But yeah, so the boys are now like locked in to the point where like the first half, Joe was like in tunely watching. We were counting how many players were on each side, like watching the refs, learning about penalties. Like Joe was locked in. So like that was super fun. Mac was like a little bit so it's still more base level learning with Rayanne. But yeah, we were pretty rough this season. We were 500. I think we went 5-5. We got blown out a couple times. We won some random games on the road that we shouldn't have won.
Yeah.
Made it to the playoffs as an 8 seed. We beat the 9 seed, which was Governor Mifflin. They came into Cumberland Valley. We won 44-12. So
Okay.
we were winning. Yeah. So it was the first game too where they got to see a blowout on our end where touchdown after touchdown. They have this giant speaker now that squawks like an eagle, and the whole crowd and
Okay.
red and white lights shine and shit, dude. The
Oh
stadium's
wow.
pretty crazy now. Like, yeah, they've done some updates, so yeah, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, so they won. So then now next Friday, I'm hoping to still go. I think that we're free this Friday, and we're gonna try to make it out. But we play at Manheim Township in Lancaster, who's
Okay.
the number 1 seed. So
Oh,
probably driving an hour away to watch us get fucked, but I think it'll still be fun. And that's it. We have some momentum now. So yeah,
nice.
so I just wanted to give a little shout out to our high school. It's pretty sweet to see them doing it. And and as an adult now, like understanding playoffs and things like that and
Yeah.
like what went into it and stuff, like it's a lot cooler to see. So Timmy's little brother plays on the team, and so I was
Oh,
like, that's even cooler too. Like I know some people, I have friends that have kids on the team and stuff like that, so it's just like, okay, cool, like this is actually like super cool to see. And
that's
then Joe
cool.
made one little mention of like, can I play football out there? And I was like, dude, you better start lifting now. But yeah, you can. So you can if you want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, that's it. That's all I had for all football talk for Sunday.
All right. This isn't football talk, but I have to mention it just because I'm a huge fan. Congrats to Ryan Blaney locking himself into the Final Four. Shot to win another championship next week with a win today at Martinsville.
Who all do we have
And
left? Read me the 4 names. Who all do we have left? Blaney.
Joey Logano,
Uh,
Tyler Reddick,
uh-huh.
uh, Ryan Blaney, and as of right now, William Byron. We'll leave that as a little teaser for Wednesday.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. Fun fact to wrap up the show: oxen are just bulls or cows with a job, not a whole separate species.
I don't know if I've ever thought about what an ox was. Is an oxen the same thing as an ox?
Yes.
Ox is just short for oxen.
I believe oxen is the plural of ox.
Oxen is okay. Got it.
So it's like an
Um,
ox or oxen.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I got you.
But yeah,
That's
they're just
interesting.
they're
Yeah,
just
just an
cows.
ox. It's just a
Just a
label.
cow
Yeah,
or a bull.
it's
Yeah,
just
it
a
just has a
nickname
job.
essentially. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just has shit to do.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Exactly.
crazy. Did you know that? I don't want to fuck this up, but I think it's a horse and a donkey make a mule,
Yes.
and like a mule can't reproduce, so a
Correct.
mule will
It's
never
a
like. There's
hybrid
no.
species.
Yeah, it's a hybrid. Yeah, I didn't know that. And so like a couple
Yeah.
months ago, I learned that because there's another one where I had heard that, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. But Tom Green, the comedian,
Yeah.
he lives in Canada somewhere now. Did the thing that everybody wants to do and just go buy a shit ton of acres and just fuck around in the woods for the rest of your
Good for
life.
him.
And good for him, right? And so he bought it and he talks about it like in depth on Rogan about how like it's like the weight of a car and they have like this like nervous system like telepathic shit where like they feel it like the twitching in your leg like when you go to turn left like your muscles in your leg tighten up they feel that so like they know that you're about to start pulling left or that like you go to put your phone away and that means that you're going to do this like they are like oh this is coming and so it's like they learn what you can do but they also are like stubborn children where they have this like substitute teacher thing like
Yeah.
how much can I get away with and so they'll feel it so he was like you really have to like train he's like you have to like earn respect with them he's like it's the craziest thing and so it's like yeah hearing people like that talk about it where it's like they've seen some shit and then they're just talking about this animal that's like light years smarter than them that could just end their life with one quick fucking kick and he's like you have to like respect every moment that you're with them and he's like you have to convince them not to kill you and like do what you want to do and he's like but once you do it's the most magical thing ever just riding him through my fucking property like on the woods and shit just like doing our stuff so yeah I didn't know that like hybrid species were such like a common thing because obviously growing up Napoleon made the liger like incredibly popular
Yeah.
but then I was like, okay,
But
that
it's
one's a
not really that
joke.
popular
Yeah,
in real life. Yeah.
that like that was a joke. It's whatever. But yeah, I don't know if I realized that ox was also a hybrid, and then now mule. My life is just such a lie. What did we even learn in school?
Not enough.
Yeah,
And we went
facts.
to a good school.
Yeah, I just didn't show up enough, I guess. But you showed up enough, and you didn't learn enough. So I stand on
I
my
learned a lot, but
I
not
stand on my
anything of help.
I stand on my absenteeism.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate you all. Like,
Yep.
subscribe,
Like,
rate.
subscribe. Thanks, Derek. Yeah, we'll see you guys on Wednesday morning.